Jr., Republican, for sheriff.
Florida Health Connector. We connect you to Blue.
Most people sign up for health insurance during the open enrollment period at the end of the year. But did you know you may qualify for a special enrollment period at any time during the year? Florida Health Connector can tell you if you're qualified for a zero premium plan.
Call Florida Health Connector today at 850-249-1010.
Florida Health Connector. We connect you to Blue.
Great design is timeless, and that's why Tracy's Fine Jewelry inside Coin and Bullion Reserves offers a stunning selection of vintage, antique, estate jewelry on sale now at 40% off. Exquisite Victorian rings, Art Deco diamond brooches, Georgian and Art Deco bracelets, earrings, and pendants. These one-of-a-kind pieces add personality to any ensemble, and now at 40% off. Find your timeless treasure at Tracy's Fine Jewelry inside Coin and Bullion Reserves.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose, hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? If competitive pricing and a quick turnaround are what matter to your business, come see us at Reliable Hydraulic Solutions. Or you can give us a call at 850-326-3000. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport. The best place in town to take a leak.
Hey there, business owners. Do you feel lost in a sea of numbers, struggling to navigate your day-to-day accounting? At Lighthouse CPAs, they specialize in guiding businesses to make more money and keep more of what you make. From bookkeeping to tax planning, they've got you covered. Plus, with their user-friendly software, managing your finances has never been easier. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Call Lighthouse CPAs 850-785-5254.
Hewitt Tire and Auto and Hometown Towing is a combination that's hard to beat. With years and years of experience in vehicle repair, foreign and domestic, name brand tires and fair prices have established Hewitt Tire and Auto as a leader that folks can call on again and again. And if you need a tow, call Hometown Towing at 850-265-1562. Hewitt Tire and Auto and Hometown Towing, an unbeatable combination. Airport Road, Panama City.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you got in the bag.
the inside drive. From college to the pros, interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, the inside drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good Tuesday morning. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. This always makes me think now of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders documentary that we watch, because you hear it probably 7,000 times in this one. But you're listening.
Make you happy?
Not really.
I mean, I guess thinking about the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders compared to the football team, even though maybe synonymous.
Yeah, maybe
the way they play football, that is.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true, but apparently it's a big thing. But you are listening to the Inside Drive. We are live this Tuesday morning on 104.3 in Panama City and Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe, along the beautiful Forgotten Coast. You can watch, like, listen, comment, subscribe, share, follow, all those wonderful things on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. You just got to search up ESPN Northwest Florida. Also, download our free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. That one you do need to search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You can also follow us on TikTok. That's inside.drive. Last but not least, you can go to ESPNPC.com. We got one day a Jay, but he's got a valid reason he is not here today. He is got his coaches meeting for the golf season, which is about to get underway. So good
What
luck.
time do you think that thing ends?
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't think it would last much longer than an hour, right?
Yeah.
I don't know where it is, though. It could be like out at
If I was
Hills
Jay,
or
I would
something.
have the app app open, and then accidentally it just keeps on playing out loud. Like, oh, I got somewhere to be.
That's right. That's right. But we'll have him back in tomorrow. But it's DJ Liam Mulvey's last day on the board here, as you've got to go back to school tomorrow. I know everybody's excited about that. I feel like I'm about to get a sounder, maybe.
I'm kind of sad about that, too, as we just started playing college football, doing little duos last night. So I was like, bro, I'll tell you what, man. I'm going to go straight home from work tonight, and we'll get on whenever you can, man.
Yeah. So how'd that go? You guys played a game against each other. I'm guessing you probably got the better of that one.
We'll defer to Liam on that one if he wants to talk about the first game. That was the feeling out phase.
Yeah,
right there,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. And then
Kansas State versus Auburn, though. We'll just put that one.
Okay.
There. So whoever you guys thought won.
What the Tigers? I'm guessing you had the Tigers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. K-State, though, they got a good team.
I was very surprised to see when we were playing duos, because we were using his team, I believe, for the most part. We could have been using mine in that second one. I'm not entirely sure.
I don't know how it works with like the ultimate team and captain thing.
I think so. If you're the offensive captain, then you use your offense. If you're the defensive captain, then you use your defense. However, I'm not sure how the uniforms work out, because in the second game, we're Alabama's uniforms, and neither one of us knew it. Like, we think we're Charlotte for some reason, or at least I did. In both games, we had the opening kickoff returned against us.
Yeah. So did they use the cheat code, Liam, where they kick it like that little sideways kind of kick where it bounces into like the 18 and you can't field it?
Yeah.
And then like your guys miss it, and there's been a few on YouTube,
So you can actually do that now, because I've been trying that for years on Madden.
No, it's legit now, because there was one game we were playing, or he was playing, and I was watching it online, and he did it like every kickoff.
Oh man, you can never get the ball.
Well, sometimes it rolls like just onto the goal line, and you get the touchback, but like you physically can't move a person over there to get it.
It's hard enough just fielding the regular kicks whenever you're playing online like that. I was like, Liam, do I got to press a button or something to catch these kicks? What's going on, man?
Yeah, there's people out there that I think they just play it 24/7.
Yeah,
they get really good. But to each his own. That's for sure. But that's good. So you could do the cross play on the online Ultimate Team.
I think the only thing that's missing on that is doing dynasties.
Gotcha.
But by the time it's all said and done, we're done with this season. Me and Liam are going to be one of the top teams on duos.
I like it. I like it. I'll be anxious to see how that goes. That's for sure. But want to mention too, we had our first winner, I'm assuming, this morning. I didn't get a chance to listen at 7:40, but if you called in this morning at 7:40 and you were the 10th caller and you remembered the phrase that pays, Liam, what's that phrase that pays?
Chop on.
Chop on. That's right. You got to remember that, because coming up tomorrow right here on the Inside Drive at 12:40, you'll have a chance to win two pairs of tickets. We'll call it a quad pair of family 4-pack to see the Washington Nationals. Come on down to Truist Park on Saturday night, August 24th. You just have to be the 10th caller. When you hear the cue to call, that'll be right before the 12:40 break tomorrow. And then the Afternoon Underdogs coming up on Thursday at 5:40. And then you'll have one more chance on Friday at 7:40 on the Coach James Hale Show. So we got now we got 12 more tickets to give away, and we appreciate everybody tuning in. And also big shout out to PCB Hobby, Fairfield Inn, Hampton Inn on Thomas Drive, and Home 2 Suites. Also want to give a shout out to PCB Hobby and Domino's Pizza.
Yes.
As it's coming up quick. It's the ESPN Northwest Florida Fantasy Football Draft. We've got 3 leagues plus the Champions League. 52 total players will be participating in this year's ESPN Northwest Florida Fantasy Football Draft. So we appreciate PCB Hobby being the host on Sunday, August 25th. And we're going to get some pizzas from Domino's and Skip Stoltz. So shout out to all the great Domino's locations around here. They got some great deals. I know they got that $6.99 coupon almost every day, which is a heck of a deal.
While we're on that, let me give a shout out to Domino's, just because normally, you get bad food and people want to give the negative reviews, but whenever something comes seamlessly, it doesn't seem to get that positive impact. Well, Saturday, actually, I got some garlic Parmesan wings from Domino's, which is not normally the go-to to get wings from Domino's. And I got a New York style medium pizza from Domino's, and it was perfectly executed, perfectly cooked, and a very quick delivery as well. So I believe that was the Callaway location. But either way it goes, man, Domino's, thank you for killing it.
Yeah, they've been I feel like they've really upped their game in the last couple of years. Their pizzas, their ingredients, they're keeping it. I mean, you can get, if you go in there and you get the coupons, like $6.99 for I think 1, 2, or 3 pizzas. You can add the chicken dishes, the wings. You can add the pastas. You can add the marble brownie thing. That's good too. The cookie brownie. That one will get you in trouble. But I mean, they keep it reasonable. They keep it reasonable in price in this
today's
day and age. Whew. I mean, $6.99 for a medium pizza. You can't really beat that.
No, you can't. And those pastas are really good. I used to live off of those things. And you can, for just $1 more, get the bread bowl. No, it did used to be 2 for $5.99. So there is that. But Domino's, appreciate you. And I'll be, it's going to be bring your own beverages. So, whatever you want to drink, bring that. And we'll have like a cooler full of ice. And I'll have like a cooler for people to put their drinks in. There's going to be a fridge there as well. And for anyone who's interested to see how all of this plays out, I'm sure that we're going to have enough standing room. And Coach Brian Haddad's going to be there. So if you want to buy some cards, he's going to have some kind of already pulled out of the more popular players being drafted. So this is going to be a fun time. We've held it at Dave & Buster's the last 2 years, but very thankful to do this at PCB Hobby, and very thankful to you for getting Domino's lined up.
Big and the boards, Skip Stoltz, and all the Domino's locations here in Bay County. They are wonderful, and I believe they're always hiring too. But who really isn't? So shout out to Domino's, shout out to PCB Hobby. Liam, you looking forward to the ESPN Northwest Florida Draft? We get to play in the same league this year. He's gonna give me the. That's one way. Wouldn't it be nice if you just walk around and if somebody asks you a question, you either hit them with the or the correct sounder?
Well, there are some people who do that without having to use sounds.
That is true. That is true. That is true. But yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. And, we got the 4 boards lined up, all that good stuff. So we're looking to have some fun at PCB Hobby. Again, shout out them and Domino's Pizza for making that happen today. All right. Medal count. We got to get that from our man behind the glass. How we looking? There's a lot of stuff going on this morning. I'll try to go a little quick because we got Doc A coming up at 11:20. But what are we looking like, Liam, on the medal count as of this morning?
Number 1, China. But they're only one above us now.
Nice.
What's the count looking like?
22 gold medals.
Okay.
19 silver and 14 bronze.
I could deal with that.
Yeah.
55 total.
55 total. How are we doing?
United States with 21 gold medals, 30 silver medals, and 28 bronze.
For a grand total of?
79.
Nice. Who's in 3rd place right now?
France.
Ooh, the host country.
They moved up from 4th to 3rd, I think.
Yeah, because the total medal is their little tiebreaker on this thing.
Yeah, 13 gold medals, 16 silver, and 19 bronze. And then Australia, number 4, with 13 gold medals, 12 silver medals, and 8 bronze medals. 33 total.
Nice. Give us one more, and then I want to talk about some of these brackets here real quick.
Number 7, Japan, with 10 gold medals.
You skipped over to Jay's favorite country.
Yeah, Jay's Island.
Yeah, that's it. Literally. Nice. Nice. Jay's Island. How many is, who's in 5th place right now?
Great Britain.
How many they got?
12 gold medals, 13 silver medals, and 17 bronze.
So really looking like a 2-country race right now when it comes to overall gold medals. And hopefully the United States can close
and
that
import
down.
and export as well.
Yeah, and import and export too. There's no
the shipping games.
There is no doubt about that, Liam. In just a couple minutes, I'm going to ask you for an update, as I believe the kickoff is about 11 minutes ago. But real quick on the men's football bracket, our gold medal match is set. We had the 2 semifinal games that happened. That was France and Egypt. The host country won that one 3-1. And then you had Spain beating Morocco 2-1. So when we were talking yesterday on the show, Morocco was up 2-0. Second half, Spain came back, scored 2 goals. It looks like, too, without diving into like the box score, which is hard to get to, it looks like France.
And hard to read.
Yeah, and hard. It looks like France might have scored and won that thing in extra time, according, because the AET usually means it goes to extra time. So, but anyway, France and Spain, the host country, they're going to be excited about that one. That's going to be a fun one to watch. That's coming up on August 9th. That's going to be, it's like 6 p.m. their time, so 11 a.m. our time. And the 9th, that's going to be Friday? Friday, yeah.
6, 7, 8,
9. Yeah, Friday. There we go.
I should have known that because I know that this weekend coming up is the 10th and the 11th.
Yeah, there you go.
Then last Friday was the 2nd.
That's true.
Math, baby.
Math. 7 plus 7 plus
7. Yeah.
All right, Liam, you got an update in the United States-Germany women's soccer match, the semifinal. Any scores yet? It's early.
No, but we have had 2 attempts saved by the goalkeeper, or actually 3 attempts saved by the goalkeeper.
Nice.
And a lot of fouls.
Early.
All by Germany.
Oh.
3 fouls to Sophie Smith,
Trinity Rodman. They put the last name first.
Oh.
Yeah.
Soccer just ridiculous.
And we got just this girl named Lisa, direct free kick. Attempt missed just now.
So we got some shots on target then, is what you're saying.
That's crazy. Lisa's last name is this girl name. I like that last name.
Well, we'll keep you updated throughout the show on the United States-Germany semifinal match coming up later on. Right after that one's going to be the other semifinal in women's football, and that is Brazil and Spain. Moving over to the basketball bracket, we have one team. This is on the men's side. We have one team that has advanced so far to the semifinals, and that is, 2 teams that have advanced to the semifinals. One of those is Serbia. They beat Australia in the quarterfinals earlier, 95-90. They advanced to the semifinals. Brazil and the United States is coming up later. They play at 9:30 their time, so that's going to be 2:30 our time. And then Germany beat the Greeks 76-63 in a low-scoring game. And although Dylan Brooks said Canada can beat the United States of America, they are currently in a little bit of a hole early in the game. We'll keep you updated out throughout the show. France is up 17-5 over Canada right now. So hopefully Dylan Brooks and the Canadians can get going if he wants to meet the United States of America in the gold medal match.
Who would you rather see in the gold medal match, Canada or France?
France, just to be more fun with Wemby and Gobert and the home team. Did we have a goal? I saw the excitement back there. No? Okay. I was excited. I thought we might have scored. But we got to get going a little early. We're a little sluggish in the game against Japan, so hopefully we can make some stuff happen here. I know on the basketball side, we haven't got to the quarterfinals yet. Yes, sir. What you got?
Another foul.
Germany. They're vicious. The Germans. Deutschland. Keep us up to date. All right, where we're going to go over to the beach volleyball side of things. We had some round of 16 scores that are completed, and your quarterfinals are now set for tomorrow. And the United States team did beat the Italian team. I don't know if I mentioned this or not yesterday, but we'll face off against the Qatar team tomorrow in the quarterfinals. And you got Brazil and Sweden. You've got Germany and the Netherlands have already played their quarterfinal match. They took down the Netherlands 2-0, and then you got Spain versus Norway. So still 3 quarterfinal matches to be played. 1 more today, and then 2 tomorrow. Hopefully the United States team of Benish and Partain can get the victory over Qatar to move them on to the semifinals. Moving on to the beach volleyball women's, I believe we got 2 matches today. A little bit later on, let's see, that's 2200. 100. So that's going to be 10 o'clock. That'll be, looks like about 3 o'clock our time. That is our last hope on the women's side. That is the team of Hughes and Chang. They'll take on the Swiss team of Huberli and Brunner. That's going to be, again, it should be, I think, 3 o'clock our time, if I'm calculating the military time and subtracting 7 hours correctly. And then, as I probably mentioned yesterday, the other match today is the Australian team versus the Swiss team. And then tomorrow you've got Brazil versus Latvia and Spain versus Canada. That's on the women's beach volleyball side of things. Moving over to the, I think we're almost close to that one. Yes, we had a big victory yesterday. The United States of America in the indoor men's volleyball took down Brazil 3-1 in a best out of 5. They'll take on Poland, who beat Slovenia 3-1 in the semifinal match. So the United States getting ever so closer to a gold medal match. Now the only thing that stands in their way is Team Poland. France having another great showing in the team tournaments, beat Germany 3-2 in that final set. Italy beat Japan 3-2 as well. So Italy and France, Poland and the United States are what leave us on the indoor volleyball side in the semifinals. Currently in progress, another great start for the United States of America. Brazil beat the Dominican Republic in the quarterfinals, so Brazil has advanced to the semifinals. We are currently in progress in the United States and Poland match, but the U.S. is up 2-0 in that one, just needing one more set to move on to face Brazil in the semis. Turkey beat China 3-2, and the Italy-Serbia game is yet to come on the indoor volleyball side.
Yeah, another foul.
I feel like we're going to be getting a lot of those.
Any fouls for the United States yet, or is it just mainly the Germans?
Just Germany.
Yeah.
5.
If we had a TV in here, we could actually have this game on.
That is
watch
fair.
it live.
That is fair.
Randy, if you're listening, we got to take down the Mississippi State thing. TV goes right there. Boom.
Oh, man, that would be perfect. We could even spread out the Florida and the Florida States just a little bit more and then take that Mississippi State one, put it sideways, and then the TV right there.
Boom.
Man, the vision is strong.
Absolutely. I didn't hear what you said, Liam. You're far away from the mic. That's okay. He's like, forget it. It's okay. All right, and then last but not least, the only other bracket I have up is the women's water polo bracket, as the United States are still in that one. They'll go out, let's see, 2035. That's going to be, what, 835 minus 7 is 135. So 135.
Quick maths.
Quick math, converting it. Hungary plays the United States in the quarterfinals in women's water polo with a trip to the semifinals on the line. And then you've got Australia and Greece still yet to go. Go ahead.
We got a foul by Sophie.
Another one for the Germans?
No, for us.
Oh, so we're breaking the ice with our foul.
Let's go, baby.
I like it. We got to play
Foul it
tough.
up.
We got to play tough. Netherlands had beat Italy in the other side of the bracket in the quarterfinals, the women's water polo, and Spain absolutely decimated Canada 18-8. So the Netherlands will take on the Spanish in the semifinals, and we will await the winners of Australia and Greece and Hungary and the United States of America. Looking forward to that. A lot of team stuff going on, and then a little quick update from this morning as well. He broke his own world record, and that is Sam Watson. He in qualification, he is a climber. He's a sport climber, and he broke his own world record this morning with a scorching climb in qualification of 4.75 seconds.
How high are they going?
I don't know, but it's super fast. I haven't watched this year's, but I've watched some, and they're just like boom, right up the wall.
Is it like rock climbing, or do they have an actual rock face?
No, it's like rock climbing where they got the different pegs and stuff in there. I'll have to go back and watch that.
How interesting would that be if they had an Olympic event of like get to the peak of Everest?
Oh,
How fast can you do that?
Or
Well, it's going to take us more than the entire Olympics, but we'll see.
Make it extreme like that one show that we watched that we've talked about on here where the guy climbs the face of El Capitan with no harness.
Oh, there you go.
Several hours, obviously. But
If they're going to start doing that, then I want to see fencing without any gear there.
Yeah,
And
with
sharp swords.
With real swords, yeah, absolutely. But we got Doc A coming up. I'm excited to talk to him. He's got some fun stuff for us, as he always does, and we'll have him back when we get online. Don't forget Brad Law coming up at 12:20. You are listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Let's try.
The new app from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is designed specifically for sports fanatics like you. The sports content you demand is always on. Live stream our national and local sports talk anywhere you go. Reach us on all social media. You can also be a part of the show. Call and text into our studios. Plus, up-to-the-minute weather and traffic maps. The new app from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is available at the Apple Store and Google Play.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Tuesday. Sunny this afternoon and evening with a moderate breeze at 16 miles per hour out of the west and temps near 95. Tonight we will have clear skies and be quite warm at 82. Sunny tomorrow and a high 92. Mostly sunshine throughout the day with a chance of thunderstorms in the evening Thursday with a temp of 94. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hey there, business owners. Do you feel lost in a sea of numbers, struggling to navigate your day-to-day accounting? At Lighthouse CPAs, they specialize in guiding businesses to make more money and keep more of what you make. From bookkeeping to tax planning, they've got you covered. Plus, with their user-friendly software, managing your finances has never been easier. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Call Lighthouse CPAs 850-785-5254.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Mike Atkinson. For the last 16 years, you've trusted my leadership at the Walton County Sheriff's Office. In that time, UCR crime rates have dropped 67%. That's no coincidence. You can count on me to serve with continued professionalism and provide the excellent hometown service you want. At our agency, excellence matters, as our law enforcement, fire rescue, and animal services are the first on scene. On Tuesday, August 20th, vote to re-elect Atkinson for Walton County Sheriff.
Paid for by Michael Atkinson Jr., Republican for Sheriff.
He has one man to beat. He beat him. Jarquez Hunter. Touchdown Auburn.
Kickoff on the Plains is coming.
50-10. Ford to the end zone. Touchdown Peyton Ford.
Auburn football returns August 31st.
The kick is on the way. The season is underway.
Only on your home for the Tigers.
Auburn fans, we're bringing you every single game this season on the exclusive home for the Auburn Tigers on the Gulf Coast. ESPN Northwest Florida War Eagle.
Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. And now,
Doctor, my eyes.
Doc A joins the Inside Drive. It's just what the doctor orders.
Oh, doctor! Talk to your doctor before use.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. It's Tuesday. Olympic basketball is going on, and it is our good friend on the line. That is Steve Alexander, but we know him as Doc A. Doc, how are you doing this Tuesday morning?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
How you doing?
We're doing good, Actually, we got some fun things to talk about today. Not that we don't normally do, because we always do, but I'm going to start with Dylan Brooks's comments, and because I'm going to start with that is because with his comments that you can let everybody know, he needs to get some stuff going because currently they're down 23-10 early on against the French team.
Yeah, that Dylan Brooks quote is funny. He supposedly said LeBron's old, KD's old, somebody can't play defense. Anthony Edwards can't stop SGA. And he said Steph Curry's a choker. Now, that's all alleged. Yes. I don't know if that's even real. And I looked around a little bit. Like, it certainly wasn't coming from somebody like Woj. But it's such Dylan Brooksy kind of stuff to say. It seems like that is totally something he would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely in his wheelhouse, that is for sure. But right now, being down to your boy, Victor Wembanyama and Rudy Gobert, Team Canada is in quite a hole, 13 points down early on. But it's basketball. You can go on a lot of runs, but they'd still have to win the semifinal game for them to end up playing the United States if the United States can advance past Brazil and now what would be Serbia in the semifinal game. And has the United States already played Brazil in the pool play? I know they played Serbia in the pool play, but I can't remember.
I'm not your Olympics I'm not your Olympics guy.
Either way, they should have no problem with Brazil, and they've already beaten Serbia once, so why not do it again? But yeah, and then
Canada was really who I was scared of, and now, I mean, dude, if Gobert and Wemby both get it going at the same time, then they're in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. And that may sound like what it's doing. The home country is having a good tournaments and all these quarterfinal brackets going in. But yeah, and then I was telling David before the show, as you were sharing with me, that Jackson Holiday had posted something yesterday about the away team's stadium he was playing at had a golden tee.
You know what? That's a good question. I thought it was at his own stadium, and it was in the visitors' clubhouse.
Oh. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yes, I think I misinterpreted that one.
So he gets to go play Golden Tee every day, but he's got to go over to the, traditionally the visitors' locker room is not nearly as nice as the home locker room, especially when you get in the big league.
Absolutely.
So I think they need to put a Golden Tee machine in his locker room. I know the Braves, when they built Truist, the new park, that their locker room had Golden Tee machines in it. I know Freddie Freeman was a big Golden Tee guy.
Gotcha. I wonder what the correlation between Golden Tee and playing good baseball is.
Baseball players love golf.
Good point. Good point. But Doc, if you're a self-proclaimed Golden Tee expert, and we've talked about this before on the show, but how would you match up against what Jackson Holiday was saying he's been able to do on some of the courses?
Well, he named 3 courses, and his best against my best. He's better in 2 out of 3, but I've got a minus 26. At one of them, and he's got a minus 25. But I have a feeling if we hooked up and played some Golden Tee, it would be pretty tight.
Ooh, nice. But now there's 2 different types of modes in Golden Tee, right? Just like casual, you're playing just to play, but there's also, you said, the logged-in competitive version.
Yeah, like usually, I think if you don't play a lot, you're at the bar and you're like, hey, let's go play golf, and you throw money and then you play. That's set up a lot differently than the guys that are competing for world championships. You have to set up an account, log in, and it tracks your lifetime stats. And everybody plays the same course and the same difficulty. And you can buy equipment and have different clubs and balls and stuff. So there are 2 totally different worlds, and the one where you log in is a lot harder than the casual game. And I don't know which one Jackson's playing, but either way, it sounds like he can play a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like what you said, David, there. Baseball players love golf. There's a lot of correlation. Hockey players in golf, baseball players in golf, kind of that rotational movement, but Golden Tee is certainly a fun game to play.
Well, and it's also a gaming where your timing is important, right? And timing is huge in baseball, so maybe there's that as well.
And when I was younger, and the Braves had Smoltz, Glavine, Avery, Maddox, like those guys pitched once every 5 days, and the whole rest of the time they were playing golf.
Yep.
And we've seen how good John Smoltz is, and I'm sure Maddox and Glavine and Avery are all pretty damn good too.
Yeah, when I was at just down the road with St. Joe at Shark's Tooth in Camp Creek in our club championship, Tom Glavine was in the men's club championship playing from the back tees, and he ended up he made a double, I think, on 17 coming in and lost it by 1. He hits the ball on a frozen rope, left-handed, just not higher than probably a 2-story house, but he makes a good. So yeah, all the golf they played, and I think when we had Gordon Blakely on the show last year, I believe it was, he had mentioned that they would tell them to go play golf when they weren't, in the coming up next. So obviously, like David said, timing, hand-eye coordination, all those things is kind of a good crossover between sports on that one. That's for sure.
Yeah, and like my brother's brother-in-law. I don't know what that would be to me. My brother's brother-in-law. Anyway, he was a professional hockey player. Ooh. And he blew his knee up and had to retire. And he started playing golf the next year, and he picked it up so fast. Like, he was shooting in the 70s within his first year of playing.
Which, for most people is pretty unheard of when it comes to the golf thing. But yeah, that hand-eye coordination and the ability to do that is a lot of great hockey players that are good golfers, and even some football players. I know Tony Romo had some decent success. He's played in a couple Korn Ferry Tour events, but even Steph Curry, NBA, he's a pretty good golfer himself. So I guess if you're a really good athlete, one of the best in your sport, golf is one of those sports that you can pick up pretty easily.
Now, if you played Steph Curry head-to-head, would you beat him?
Probably not, just because I haven't played him forever, but it depends. He's played in Korn Ferry Tour events from long yardages and that kind of stuff, and I think he probably plays a little bit more than I do, so I would give Steph Curry the advantage for sure. Because, I couldn't go out and play in a Korn Ferry Tour event, that's for sure. I could, but it wouldn't be pretty. Would be pretty. That's
well,
for sure.
You could if you took like 6 weeks and just did nothing but hit balls.
Yeah, which I hadn't done that since high school, so I probably haven't had 6 weeks of just practicing in the last, I don't know, probably 10 years or so. But
combined?
Yeah, combined.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's, when you work in the business of golf, your job's not to play golf, it's to make sure people are playing golf and keeping your course going. So, a little different story, one of those things. Back in the day, though, being a golf professional, a lot of times that's all you did was play golf with the members, go play in tournaments, and the private clubs, the member clubs wanted to hire you because you were good at golf to represent your club. Now that ship sailed. There's still a few of that in the Northeast, and then the wintertime down there, in Jupiter and the Dye Preserve and a lot of these high-end clubs that just want pros that play good golf, but that's not very much anymore, that's for sure. Speaking of golf, Doc, what did you think of everybody was like, oh, Xander, he's won 2 majors, his first 2 majors, he's overtaken Scotty for playing the best, and then Scotty's like, I've said it before, he's like, hey, Xander, hold my beer. He comes back from, I think he was 4 shots down to start it. Through his 13th hole, he was 5 shots back. John Rahm collapses on the back 9, and Scotty ends up shooting 29 on the backside to win his first gold medal and back-to-back gold medals for the Americans.
Yeah, it was kind of wild because I was watching it, and Rahm just wasn't doing anything wrong for the longest time, and nobody else was doing anything right. I feel like every time somebody birdied, Rahm birdied too, and like nobody was making a move, and then all of a sudden, it happened so fast. Like Rahm started falling back, and Scheffler just kept coming. I think he birdied 6 out of 9 holes on the back, just ridiculous,
insane.
And actually, my favorite moment of the Olympics was him on the podium crying. It was just very cool. And you can try all you want to not root for Scotty Scheffler, but it's almost impossible not to, especially since I happen to be within shouting distance of where he got arrested in Kentucky, not that long ago. What a year. What a year he's having, man. He's been to jail. He's won a gold medal.
He's had a baby.
Where does this season rank if he wins at Eastlake?
If he ends up winning the Tour Championship, or not just the Tour Championship, but the FedEx Cup, which I think it's going to be pretty hard for him not to win the FedEx Cup if he keeps doing what he's doing, I think he's right up there with one of the best seasons of all time. Even some of the seasons that Tiger had, I just think, Tiger was really dominant for 2 different periods of time, but the competition in this day and age compared to the competition when Tiger was dominating, Tiger was setting the bar for what golf was going to be. Golf is now what it is, and Scotty Scheffler, I think if he wins the FedEx Cup, and obviously that might mean having to win at Eastlake. You have to now, the way the different scoring has changed. It's not the crazy points anymore; it's the aggregate score to par. I think if he wins at Eastlake, I would put it as probably the best overall golf season in the history of golf, simply because you add that gold medal in there. I know he only won 1 of the 4 majors, but people go their whole careers without winning majors. So yeah, I think I would be comfortable saying that. It just simply because of how good these, not saying they weren't good in the 2000s, but there's so much more talent from top to bottom on a field than there ever really was, back then.
Wow. So the Tiger Slam season and all that. That's big stuff, man.
Well,
Scheffler is putting on a show.
There's no doubt. And the Tiger Slam was kind of 2 seasons put together. So if I'm just looking at this season alone, that's where I think I give maybe the edge to Scotty. But he's still got some work to do, and, we shall see. But he's just he's on top of the golf world right now. And, nobody was really kind of talking about him going into that final round. He was several shots back. Everybody thought it was going to be a Xander Rahm, finish, and it wasn't. So cool stuff there. And Rahm made a nice comment too. He said the two events he plays in that don't have any prize money are his 2 favorite and most important events, and that was playing in the Ryder Cup and then playing in the Olympics. So that just goes to show what it means for these guys. But at the same time, they've got tens of millions of dollars, so it's not like they're hurting for cash. That's for sure.
Yeah, but my favorite golf games of all time haven't really involved money. Like the 8 guys. There were 8 of us that used to play every other weekend for, 10 years in a row. Like, we were just out there drinking beers and having fun and playing golf. And it was competitive, but there wasn't really a lot of money on the line. And that's the best time I ever had playing golf.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I saw a post, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that it was just a simple picture of 3 guys walking, carrying their clubs. And they said, I've never had a bad day playing a round of golf with my buddies. And I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of a Tiger versus a Scheffler, you have a way to settle the LeBron versus Jordan debate. And I think I saw it on your Twitter account.
Well, yeah, I don't know how scientific it is, but all I know is this. Like, back in the day, there was a point in time when me and my buddies looked at each other and said, whoever gets Michael Jordan in the fantasy draft is going to win the league. And we all agreed that he was not going to be eligible to be drafted or picked up. Like, he was out. And I thought for a minute maybe I imagined all that happening, but I texted one of my buddies, my buddy Keelan, today, and I asked him, and he's like, oh, yeah, we banned Jordan for sure. And I think a lot of other people did too. And the other side of that is I don't remember anyone ever saying, ooh, having LeBron is unfair. It wasn't. And you can compare eras, different eras, but that's the thing about Jordan. Like, he was so much better than everybody else and doing things that we had never seen. Like, it was just a different, like, he literally revolutionized the entire game. Like, he changed the whole game. And LeBron was more of like the best player in a big pool of really good players, is how I feel.
Yeah.
I think that is the perfect takeaway. It may not be scientific, but I think it resonates with a lot of basketball fans. Also there's the generational differences and the ages of kids who are watching and how they feel about it, because they never really got to witness Michael Jordan. Just like for me, like, I can't give you a great comparison of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird and the way that they changed the game outside of just what I know from the history and the YouTube videos that I watched. But I was never able to be captured in that moment the way that I was able to be captured in Michael Jordan's moments. And kudos to LeBron and his longevity. That's been very impressive, his athleticism, but he just doesn't have that same killer instinct like Michael Jordan did.
Well, that's what people ask me, like, about that. And I'm like, Kobe and Jordan both had probably the fiercest killer instinct you could ever see an athlete have, and LeBron just doesn't have it. LeBron is maybe, I mean, I don't know, is he too nice for his own good? The only thing he's ever really done that made me mad was the way he handled the decision to go to Miami. Other than that, LeBron's been he flops and he whines, but he's been a pretty good guy and a pretty good role model for kids, I think.
And he's done a
so
lot.
I'm not a LeBron hater, but Jordan's just it was just a different level at that time.
Yeah. What about one more quick question? You think, I know you had mentioned it this year, but you think you'll ban Wemby in your leagues?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm sitting
Had to
here.
think, though.
I've got this France-Canada game on, and France is by 12. I mean, France should not beat Canada, but they are doing it right now. And Wemby is a game changer, man. And we've talked about this on my podcast, which is at sportsethos.com. Full-time, 5 days a week, every day. Check it out. But we talk about this there. Like, this is the first time I've sensed that we may be banning an athlete from fantasy sports because he just does too much. And I'm not saying that Wemby's the best player in the league or anything like that, but fantasy-wise, with those blocks and those threes and everything else he does, it's really not fair to the person who does not have Wemby on their team.
Yeah, and it's more like you said. You're not saying he's the best in the league, but from a fantasy perspective, you know he's going to get X amount of points every time he's out there, and whoever has him on his team probably has a lot better chance of winning that matchup that week than not. So, but yeah, we'll see you'll have to keep us posted on that. And Doc, we appreciate your time as always. Enjoy the rest of that game, and hopefully Team USA can cruise past Brazil and then take on Serbia, and maybe we'll have a France United States gold medal game that we can talk about next week.
All right, man. And then also we need to talk about Buc-ee's.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Well, we got to wait till Jay gets back for Buc-ee's. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Oh, for sure. I'm not doing that without Jay.
100%. And he had a team. He's coaching Arnold High School, and he's got a coaches meeting going on right now.
You think Jay's ever been to Buc-ee's?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think Jay's probably got some good Buc-ee comments. That's for sure. But
Jay owns a lot of Buc-ee stock.
Yes, absolutely.
Physical stocks.
Definitely. All right, Doc. Have a great rest of your week.
I'll see you guys later.
Sounds good. We appreciate
All right, you too.
Liam, any score update real quick on the USA?
I'll get it next.
Okay, you'll get it when we get back. All right, you're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida, the Paul Feinbaum Show.
John Wilder, I know there are a couple of eulogies being offered today by you and your colleagues toward the Pac-12. I mean, now that it's gone, essentially, I mean, how big of a disaster have these last two commissioners been?
It would have been hard to script it any worse for the Pac-12.
Paul Feinbaum, weeknights, 6 to 10 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
If you spend any time at all in your yard, you're going to encounter fire ants.
We know they can ruin a party. That's why we're this area's experts at fire ant elimination.
As your certified top choice professional, we will rid your yard of these unwanted invaders. Brock Pest is so sure they will get rid of fire ants that they offer a 1-year guarantee.
Enjoy your yard fire ant free. We guarantee it. Give us a call for your free consultation.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting yours since 1968.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts and Deli. Call 763-1627.
Did you know that fees associated with real estate closings are virtually the same from one title company to the next? So what sets South Oak Title apart? Effective communication, customer service, expertise, and technology. If you're buying or selling real estate, refinancing a residential or commercial property, tell your realtor you want to close with South Oak Title. South Oak Title, with locations across the Southeast, including Panama City Beach, Inlet Beach, Destin, and Fort Walton Beach. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Live from the 19th hole.
I can't believe you're a professional golfer. I think you should be working at the snack bar.
It's the Inside Drive from the Bill Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studio.
The price is wrong.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Chicken haters.
And we are back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. All right, we're going to pivot, but first, Liam, you got an update? Any score update?
How can you not be hyped?
I know, bouncing around back there. Chicken Head. It's all the kids' favorite song. They didn't even know it until the Inside Drive came to be.
We got now 15 fouls in the first 45 minutes.
On who? Or is that total fouls?
That's just total fouls.
Okay.
Most of them
That's
are
a lot of
on
fouls.
That is.
Germany.
Wonder how much
But we have a
stoppage
yellow
time.
card for Germany.
Nice. Good.
Hariga Ramaya or something.
Yeah, that's good.
That sounded
She's
right.
had 5 fouls, and now she has a yellow.
Sounds like she's going to get a red if she keeps it up.
I do like whatever site he's using over there because it says foul committed and foul suffered.
Committed and suffered. I like it. So it lets you know if you've suffered a foul.
Yeah.
And how much you're suffering and rolling around holding your
First
shin
half
to your
is
ankle.
ended.
Man, first half's over already? I guess it is 11:46. Any score?
No.
No score, 0-0. It's going to get intense here in the second half coming up probably in about 15 minutes. I want to pivot from the Olympics just for a little bit. I'm going to start with, I didn't get to it yesterday. We talked a lot of Olympics yesterday. But a couple schools getting in a little bit of trouble. You guys probably already talked about it on the Afternoon Underdogs, but University of Kentucky was placed on probation due to multiple NCAA violations. Just after the media day last Friday, NCAA published findings from investigations into the Kentucky football and swimming programs. Yeah. As a result, the university has been placed on a 2-year probation. According to the statement from the NCAA Infractions Committee, violations involve at least 11 football student athletes receiving payment for work not performed between the spring of 2021 and March of 2022. 8 of the student athletes went on to compete and receive actual necessary expenses while ineligible. In 2022, the program self-reported violations of the NCAA bylaws as several players discovered to have falsified work hours. The players were paid as patient transporters at a UK hospital, and according to the video evidence at the hospital, they would arrive, clock in, leave, and in some cases, come back hours later to clock out. The UK Compliance Office discovered that the hours worked conflicted with the players' class and football schedules. In addition to the self-reporting, several players were suspended or dismissed from the program back in 2020. Linebacker Jordan Wright was suspended from the season opener, and running back Chris Rodriguez was suspended for the first 4 games of the season. However, the NCAA says multiple players should have remained ineligible to play. The NCAA enforcement staff and school agree that no staff member in athletics department knew or reasonably should have known about the payment for work and not performed, and there were failure to monitor the violations. In addition to the probation, the level 2 violations found the football program will result in the wins from the historic 2021 10-win season being vacated. The school has agreed it failed to monitor its swimming and diving programs, and that underlying violations demonstrated a head coach responsibility violation. So, interesting stuff there out of Kentucky.
Yeah, looks like are they going to be looking for a new swimming head coach? I nominate Coach Brian Hatt. Actually, no, I don't want to nominate him because then I lose him. So
no, absolutely. Although he would probably do a really good job of it.
Yeah, man, his breakdown of the Olympic recap yesterday was really good.
Had to been epic.
It's fun hearing him talk about. I mean, he's a wealth of knowledge across the board when it comes to sports, but
no doubt.
When he's talking about things that I don't understand as much, he does a real good job of breaking them down, and I'm able to understand them at a better level.
Yeah, there you go. That's and he's done a lot for swimming here in Bay County. There's no doubt about it.
Did it say with that Kentucky? We actually didn't talk about this very much at all on the Afternoon Underdogs. I don't even know if I brought the headline up because I believe it broke Friday and
yes, late Friday.
Yeah, late Friday. So. With that being said, is there a postseason ban? Is that a part of their probation? I should have Googled that while you were.
I did not see that in the article. I was going to skip quickly to the the Michigan side of things. Michigan football coach Sharon Moore violated NCAA rules. NOA draft says new Michigan head coach Sharon Moore is one of 7 members from the 2023 football program accused of violating NCAA rules in a draft of the NCAA's notice of allegations obtained by ESPN. This is from Dan Murphy and Pete Thamel. The draft, which could be subject to change, states Moore faced a show cause penalty and a possible suspension for allegedly deleting a thread of 52 text messages with former Michigan staffer Connor Stalions in October of 2023. On the same day that media reports revealed Stalions was leading an effort to capture the play calling signals of future opponents. The draft says the texts were later recovered via device imaging and Moore subsequently produced them to enforcement staff. Moore is accused of committing a level 2 violation, according to the draft. Moore, who took over as the Wolverines head coach in January after serving as their offensive coordinator for several seasons, is considered a potential repeat violator by the NCAA because in August of 2023, he negotiated a resolution to claims that he contacted recruits during a COVID-19 recruiting dead period. New allegations against Moore are part of the long-anticipated notice of allegations to Stallions off-campus scouting operation. Former Michigan staff members Jim Harbaugh, Chris Partridge, Denard Robinson, and Stallions are also accused of committing level 1 violations, the most serious category in the NCAA's enforcement process. I do know this is off the article, but Jim Harbaugh had a press conference, I believe it was yesterday, maybe over the weekend, that he said he had no record of any of this and he did not do anything wrong. And if he did do something wrong, he would admit to it. So, but I don't know what, obviously the Big Ten suspended Harbaugh the final 3 games of the 2023.
6 games in total last year.
Six in total last year. Obviously, they ended up going on to win the NCAA national championship. But whatever comes from these particular violations, it does not look like it will make them vacate any titles or anything like that. That's for sure.
We'll see, man. It's interesting because, that investigation's still underway, and we're about to have the Connor Stallions documentary dropping, so they already have enough information. But then again, I feel like these documentaries come out so fast, like sometimes maybe wait for the facts.
Doesn't mean it's true. That is for sure.
We'll see how it all plays out, though, man. I don't want to see Michigan. If there's proof that they were cheating to a level that other teams were not were cheating or were not cheating. If other teams weren't doing what Michigan was doing, then I'm fine with it. I think that other teams have been doing things like this. So, and did it really give them that much of a competitive edge? I mean, did they get better? Yeah, but they also, they sent a lot of guys to the NFL. So, no doubt. I don't know, man. But there is no place for cheating, so it's one of those ones where I bounce back and forth, but it could be a while before Michigan wins again, so let them keep this. It's like Kentucky. Like, why are you making them vacate wins? It takes them 2 years to get 11 wins, which, I mean, I guess that's for most teams. Sometimes 3 years. Yep. But they're, an 8-win team on average, so, yeah. What do we got?
We got an update. We get it. What you got? What you got?
We got an Olympic medal update.
Oh. What you got?
Australia moving up to 3rd place, pushing the host country, France, back.
Oh, man. So what?
Gold medal.
Dang. So now Australia's 3rd in gold medals?
Yep. Not close to us, though.
There you go. I think it's a 2-country race when it comes to the gold medals between us and China. Another thing on, gotta break this news, gotta get your thoughts on it too, Liam. So, overnight last night, there was a lot of discussion with the Brandon Ayuk situation, but just quickly recapping, a lot of big names currently not practicing in training camp. The likes of Jamar Chase, who wants to be paid like Justin Jefferson. CeeDee Lamb, who also wants to be paid like Justin Jefferson. Trent Williams is comfortable waiting for a better deal. Hassan Riddick, who's on day 15 of his $50,000 a day holdout. And then, of course, that's a lot of cash. But a lot of times when if they do end up extending them, they just put that into.
Well, I would have been in practice if you guys had paid me what I wanted.
Yep. Oh, man, crazy stuff. But anyway, Brandon Ayuk seems to be the hottest topic of conversation right now. Over the last 24 hours, the lot of buzz has been picked up with the Brandon Ayuk situation. Now it looks like the Browns and the Patriots have both agreed with the framework for the 49ers deal to make this particular trade. Again, this is reported by NBC Sports' Matt Maiocco. They basically have a good plan in place. I think the Browns and the Patriots have both agreed to what the Niners have asked for. Now it's just a matter of what are they going to put into this trade. The Commanders and Steelers were also involved, but they have both removed themselves from the talks.
Smart.
Because they did not want to meet the demands of the San Francisco trade framework. So Cleveland and New England have given the 49ers a trade proposal they've agreed upon and presented to Ayuk's camp with its best offer. So basically, the ball is in Ayuk's court right now. Ayuk officially requested a trade back in July after the two strides struggled to come to an agreeable contract in the fifth-year extension with the wide receivers. If he were to play in the 2024 season with San Francisco, he would earn $14.124 million while playing on the field of his final rookie year contract, which, that's still a lot of money.
Yeah.
Still a lot of money. But we shall see. Some rumors. I know I was reading a lot last night and this morning that the Cleveland Browns may potentially offer Amari Cooper and some draft capital, or the New England Patriots offering Kendrick Bourne, who has played with the Niners before, and some draft capital. What do you guys think? What would you rather do? Obviously, I don't think Ayuk's going to be a Niner going forward. Who'd you rather? I think the Amari, if the Browns are stupid enough to deal Amari Cooper and some draft capital, I would take that hands down right now. I love Brandon Ayuk, but Amari Cooper is, I would say, maybe slightly a step above Brandon Ayuk when it comes to playing the game of football. Either one.
Your thoughts? All right. Well, I'll go because, first off, if I'm any team in the league, I'm not trading here with the 49ers. I'm not going to do it. Yeah. Why? Because you've got a disgruntled wide receiver. I'm not going to give you one of my top wide receivers for someone who we can't guarantee is going to come into the locker room and not be a problem. Now you want draft capital on top of that? It would be one thing if it's Ayuk and draft capital for said wide receiver. But if I'm the Browns, no way am I getting rid of my top wide receiver over there in Amari Cooper, especially after matching him up now with Jerry Jeudy. I want to see how that works out. We've got a proven guy in Amari Cooper. Not saying at all that Ayuk is not proven, but it's just basically a 1 year. There's been this build up and he had that 1 year. Now all of a sudden you want to trade? Why? And first of all, anyone who wants to trade out of the San Francisco 49ers organization, there's got to be something wrong with you. Yep. Why do you want to leave an organization that is on the precipice of winning?
That's a whole nother thing. I know we got to take a quick break. We'll dive a little bit more into that before we get into the afternoon delight debriefs, because I want to get y'all's thoughts a little bit more on the Ayuk trade situation. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
America's team plays here.
Swing and a miss. Struck him out. That's number 10.
The Atlanta Braves on ESPN Northwest Florida. Charlie Morton, Max Fried, and Chris Sale lead the Braves' dominant pitching rotation.
That's 18 up, 18 down.
Sponsored by Panama City Toyota, Ellis Agency Insurance, Bestway Portable Buildings, PCB Hobby, and ESPN Northwest Florida.
Got him swinging. Strike three.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Tuesday. Sunny this afternoon and evening with a moderate breeze at 16 miles per hour out of the west and temps near 95. Tonight we will have clear skies and be quite warm at 82. Sunny tomorrow and a high 92. Mostly sunshine throughout the day with a chance of thunderstorms in the evening Thursday with a temp of 94. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Then here's a great idea. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Yes, one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program and we'll come and remove your car for free. Fast, free towing, and 24-hour response. You can donate most cars, trucks, or SUVs in most conditions. The proceeds raised goes to help active military, veterans, and their families, and you get a tax deduction. All you need to do is make this free call. Get rid of that old car and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now and book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Donation Program now. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Operators are standing by. Here's the number.
800-932-1176. 800-932-1176. 800-932-1176. That's 800-932-1176.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves are battling back in the division and keeping their sights set on the playoffs as the season heats up.
Bounce up the middle, might get through. It does! Base hit! Braves win! Austin Riley comes through with the winner!
Tonight, Austin Riley and the Braves ramp up for another series against the Milwaukee Brewers, live from Truist Park in Atlanta.
Braves coverage begins following the afternoon underdogs at 6. First pitch, 6:20. Your home for the Braves, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky.
And now, the afternoon delight debrief with the three degenerates from the Inside Drive. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
Afternoon delight.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight. Afternoon delight.
And we are back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 in Panama City, Panama City Beach. 101.9 in Port St. Joe along the beautiful Forgotten Coast. You can watch, like, listen, comment, share, subscribe, follow. That's Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Just search it up, like the kids say, ESPN Northwest Florida. You can download our free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. That one you do need to search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Follow us on TikTok, Inside.Drive. Go to ESPNPC.com as well to check out all the wonderful information from ESPN Northwest Florida. Also want to thank our studio sponsor. That is Bill Kramer GM and Kramer Marine and Outdoor, right there at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd Street, the mecca of car and boat dealerships. Bill Kramer GM's got lots of new vehicles wanting to go out because the 25s are coming in. Great incentives, great rates. Go check them out. Trucks, vans, cars, SUVs, Corvettes, Hummers, whatever it may be, they got it. If you got a car to trade in, those values are still high. They've also got express service, regular service tires at cost. They'll make it easy and take great care of you. Kramer Marine and Outdoor, right there on the other side, right there in the corner. I guess you could say they're more on Frankfurt Avenue there. But if you need a boat, or if you got a boat that doesn't work, or it's not working too great, there's only one place to go, and that's Kramer Marine and Outdoor. They sell Seabourn, Spider, Sundance, and
Skeeter.
There you go, in Harmony. They're a Yamaha outboard full-line dealer, Yamaha Master Certified mechanics on staff. They've even got mobile service. They'll come right to your dock and get you fixed up. You can check out all their new and used inventory at KramerMarineandOutdoor.com. Liam, getting back to the Ayuk situation, let me ask you a question. If you're a NFL football player, would you rather be on a team, make a little less money, have a legitimate shot at winning the Super Bowl, play in warm weather most of the time, or go to another place that's cold a lot? Probably don't really. One of these teams, the Patriots, certainly don't have a chance of winning a Super Bowl. I'd give the Browns a decent shot, but still a very tough division they're playing in. So you'd stay for less money, warmer, better chance. There you go. And you were kind of talking about that as we were going out of the break, David. Like, why? The Niners have taken this, in my opinion, I'm a Niners fan, but I'm looking at this unbiasedly. I think the Niners are in a huge position here. They're like, all right, you want to be traded? Well, we're going to need this in order for you to be traded. And they put it out there, and they've got a couple teams to bite on it. So, I think ball is kind of in Brandon's court, and the Niners, I think, are going to be happy probably with whatever happens.
Yeah, I mean, if you're exactly 1,000% correctamundo. We've got Ohio Brad texting with me right now. He says Browns could lose Amari for nothing next year. Take a younger guy and give him a long-term deal would be the idea. Now, they just got the 1-year deal done there with Amari Cooper. Ohio Brad's not a big fan of the slower speed of Amari Cooper, but I'll take the sure hands. And again, for me, locker room is huge, man. And if you're trying to leave an organization as soundly run as the San Francisco 49ers because you don't have a deal done, or maybe because you think you're going to be the odd man out when it comes to next year, well, you could test free agency anyways, but and someone's going to sign you, man. Yeah. And if you have, this is one of those. See, here's another thing I really don't like when the players sit here like, oh, I've got 1 year left on my deal. Now I'm going to make you do something so that I can go ahead and get a deal. No, prove it. Yeah. Prove what your worth is to these teams. And if I'm the Browns, now again, Ohio Brad is a Cleveland Browns fan, right? So there's two different ways of looking at it, and he's a lot more in tune with his team than what I am. However, what I would say is that if I'm the Browns and the defense that we have, if we look at what we did last year with, or what the Cleveland Browns did last year, running through a ton of injuries and still having the team that they had, still having the best defense in the NFL last year, your window, to some degree, it may not be wide open, but that thing is starting to creak open a little bit. Yeah. Now, the question is, how long does it stay open? Is it going to stay open for 4 years or whatever deal that you end up giving Ayuk? So for me, I have a few issues with it. Now, if the Browns think that, again, and you're giving up draft capital on top of that. So I don't know, man, if the Browns think, but again, also, the Browns had a great season last year, but the way that they're just throwing money around, specifically in the quarterback position,
and that's
become a destination.
Big point too.
Right.
Like, is Deshaun Watson going to be the Deshaun Watson of old? If Ayuk goes to the Browns, is Ayuk going to be as productive as he was with the Niners with Deshaun Watson at quarterback? There's so many questions. And if I'm Amari Cooper, I understand he's, a little bit older and all that stuff, but he's never been in an offense like Kyle Shanahan's that has all these other weapons. I mean, that may be more advantageous for Amari Cooper.
If I'm Amari Cooper, I'm like, sign me up. Yeah. Like, y'all better give a first-round pick, send me to San Francisco. If I'm Kendrick Bourne, I'm like,
yes,
listen, we'll do a contract restructure, take $2 million, and obviously these wide receivers are not thinking like that. But also, Ohio Brad with another point, another really good point here. They want to lock in another young guy before wide receiver contracts are up to $40 million, which is a good point. But by that point, here's the other thing, though, that and maybe this gets lost on us because we see all these dollar signs, but now these teams are also making $40 more million a year in revenue, and they're getting more money from the TV contracts. Exactly. So it's not like it's really that more disadvantageous for the teams at that point. They just make it seem like that because us fans are still getting paid the same amount of daggum money that we have been for the last 10 years, and we look at it like, oh my gosh, $40 million. Meanwhile, they're making $2 billion more dollars in revenue.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things too. If he goes to Cleveland, maybe they do lock him up for a long time. But then what's next? What's next beyond that? And let me ask you this: do you think the Niners are willing to deal on Ayuk because he's asking for so much, but they know that Brock Purdy's extension's coming up next year, and they're obviously going to have to pay him?
And that's the thing. Either the 49ers continue to kind of do what they done and just have the odd man out playing quarterback, or you're going to have to pay Brock Purdy. All of these guys that's gotten paid big bucks outside of Joe Burrow hasn't even been to the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy has been to the NFC Championship, has been to the Super Bowl, and has battled back from injury as well, looking pretty good doing that. So Brock Purdy's going to be a hot commodity, and the 49ers are going to have to lock him up. If I'm Kyle Shanahan, and Brock Purdy could be getting a huge deal. So there could be an issue with that. And from what we've seen also from the 49ers is now the addition of Christian McCaffrey has turned that beast of an offense into a whole nother,
it's still
taking
funny
it to a whole nother level.
The talking heads that said that was a terrible trade. I mean,
for the Panthers,
they even said the Niners that was a terrible trade because he's so injury prone. And obviously, that's a good point there with Christian. You've got he's really opened up the offense and have made them pretty dominant. But they've got some younger wide receivers too in their group. They drafted Ronnie Bell last year. They've got Ricky Pearsall this year, who's having now he's back off the non-football injury list. He's having a great camp thus far. So they're not lacking of, depth in wide receiver. Now, are these guys superstars? No. But can Kyle Shanahan's offense turn these guys into superstars? Potentially.
Makes them look a lot better.
I mean, Juwan Jennings has been a great player for the San Francisco 49ers. And that's not your household name there. Obviously, he had a massive part of the playoffs last year. And I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I just hope it gets resolved soon because I'm tired of hearing about it, and I just want to know one way or the other. But Liam, any thoughts on Brandon Ayuk, Cleveland Browns, who you want to come in, or you want to jump to some afternoon delight debriefs? Afternoon delight.
If you got to choose between Kendrick Bourne or Amari Cooper coming to the 49ers, which wide receiver would you like to see there? Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
What about you? Kendrick Bourne or Amari Cooper?
Definitely Amari Cooper. Kendrick Bourne is a great wide receiver, and he spent a lot of time with the San Francisco 49ers. I think he would fit right back in. But I think Amari Cooper, sticking him out there on the outside, and you got you got Debo, and you got Pearsall, you got all these other guys in there. I mean, I think Amari Cooper is a bigger threat to other teams for us than Kendrick Bourne would be.
And I think with Amari Cooper and that 49ers offense, offense. And to Ohio Brad's point, like, yes, he has lost a step, but he was never really the fastest guy on the field. Blake Sims used to have a play, basically when a play broke down was throw it up to Coop. And I'm serious about that. And it worked out a lot of the times, right? That's the thing, is he's a sure-handed receiver. You've got speed in Deebo Samuel. You got speed in Jawan Jennings, really. So, and the same way for the Cleveland Browns, though. They hopefully Jerry Jeudy can, they have a better quarterback throwing to him in Cleveland, no matter who it is, pretty much, right, compared to what he had over there in Denver for a short time. So, so we'll see. But yeah, how this all plays out will be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And don't forget, too, like I said, beginning of the last time, you still got Justin Jefferson. He was paid, so Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb are sitting out until they get paid like Justin Jefferson. And I think the Cowboys and probably the Bengals have to pay those two guys.
See, you know what I would like to see is, all right, you want that deal, right? Let's work it into the contract where and again, I've said this so many times, incentive. Yeah. Because what if we pay you and you give us half and we get half
Deshaun
out of
Watson.
you? I mean, there's that was just just one of those weird deals. Still, like Ohio, we're continuing to text over here back and forth, and it's like, say he doesn't work out, which to this point hasn't worked out, but say he doesn't work out, you find a serviceable rookie quarterback, you don't got to pay, and then he's surrounded by, if this trade goes through, Brandon Ayuk, Nick Chubb, David Njoku, Jerry Jeudy, and a phenomenal defense, provided that they're able to keep all of those pieces. So that's almost emulating the San Francisco 49ers for a large part there. So,
no doubt.
Yeah, but with Deshaun Watson, even, all right, let's say Jameis Winston they did it with, Flacco was over there last year. They did it with DTR was over there last year, got injured. I think it was 4 quarterbacks that the Browns went through. So, and Deshaun Watson did start showing sparks last year of like what could possibly be. So, yeah, man, the Browns are in a good spot. However, they're in my opinion, the toughest division in the National Football League this coming year.
Yeah, no doubt. But, that Ayuk sounds pretty good in that offense, and I'll take Cooper in our offense. Well, we'll see what happens. I'll do a couple quick afternoon delight debriefs. This one, you got one, Liam? All right, kick us off. Hopefully it's not the same one I got.
We got a mystery why an ancient Egyptian mummy nicknamed the Screaming Woman had a pained expression on her face may have been solved. The scientists think that she was screaming when she died around 300 or 3,000 years ago.
Wow. 3,000 years ago. So what's that? Puts us in BC time?
That is very true.
Like 80 BC?
Something like that. Pretty close. But yeah, so
76 BC?
She was mummified with a screaming pose. Scary. That's tough. Embalmment.
Yeah. Back in the day,
embalmment. That's a little different then. They just did it without cutting you open. Ugh, scary. Maybe, I don't know if that's true or not. Don't quote me on that.
Spices and myrrh, baby. Spices and myrrh.
That's it. All right, I got one that has to do with a golf course. The title of this one actually came from local news channel WJHT. It's not a golf course here. Plane narrowly misses golfer as pilot makes emergency landing at golf course. Sacramento, California. A pilot of a small plane was forced to make an emergency landing on a California golf course after the plane's engine failed shortly after takeoff. Tim Collin was among those golfing Sunday afternoon at Hagen Oaks Golf Complex in Sacramento, California, when a plane made an emergency landing on the course. We were on the 16th hole when this happened. Our group heard a loud crash, but we had no idea it was a plane, Collin said. Dramatic surveillance video shows the plane making a belly landing. It skids quickly across a practice green, narrowly avoiding a golfer. The plane came to a stop resting against the Hagen Oaks Pro Shop, according to Ken Morton Jr., the vice president of Morton Golf, which operates the golf course. Literally 10 feet to the right, it would have gone through our glass door, straight into the pro shop, Morton said. I have lots of staff, lots of customers in there, and it would have been really disastrous. The fact that it ended up with everyone being okay is really a miracle. The Federal Aviation Administration says the single-engine Piper PA-28 had just taken off from the McClellan Airfield, which is less than 5 miles away, when the plane's engines failed at about 400 feet altitude. The pilot had to find a safe place to make an emergency landing. Luckily, there was a golf course nearby where he could lay it down, said Captain Justin
Golf course
Silva.
was very lucky about that,
Yes,
too, huh?
absolutely. With the Sacramento Fire Department, nobody was injured. Surprisingly, the pilot was able to get out of the aircraft with just a small laceration to his hand. Golfers like Fred Robinson are grateful everyone is okay. Definitely counting my blessings, Robertson said. I usually putt right on that putting green. Just by chance, something told me to hold off before I got there. Sure enough, it isn't too often planes fall out of the sky. The FAA and National Transportation Safety Board are both investigating the incident.
Were you able to see any photos of the damage?
They have I haven't watched the video, but they have a video of the plane landing. I haven't watched it yet. Hopefully my sound.
So that's just on a practice putting green, though.
It looks like it came down by the practice putting green, right next to the pro shop.
All right, so the damage is really, wow, my goodness.
It was humming.
That thing looks like Grand Theft Auto, guys. Like when you see it land, it just kind of hits like a little 90-degree angle and drifts. Not Tokyo drift, it's airplane drift almost through the parking lot, still
insane.
hovering up and down off of the ground. Wow. Could you imagine being that lady right now who's getting an interview and you're watching that plane and it might just take out you and your neighbor's cars at that point? My goodness.
Yeah, I'm glad everybody's okay.
That's another way we could do.
Where it ended up right there.
Wow.
Right next to the clubhouse.
Looks like did the wing go inside of the building?
I think it broke
off. Broke off, yeah. Wow. Hey, that would be fun, though. Do Afternoon Delight debrief commentary videos. Yeah, just do commentary.
That's not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea.
I got one from Cape Canaveral here. That's wild and so amazing that no one got hurt, especially the pilot right there, because that was... Whew.
No doubt.
That was a lot of bouncing, and you got to feel so helpless right there, right? When the plane's down and you're just going through parking lots, grass, and then coming up to a clubhouse, it's like you got to be watching that thing, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then next thing you know, it's like the Lord just puts his hand down and stops that plane. Wow.
You're going to be looking for a place to land quickly.
Whew. Cape Canaveral, a 71-year-old man is accused of trying to lasso an alligator this last Wednesday morning.
Definitely Florida, Cape Canaveral,
Robert Collin told the Brevard County Sheriff's Office that he intended to capture and remove an alligator in a canal near the intersection of West Central Boulevard and Oak Manor Drive. The man reportedly used a white nylon rope to create a new-style loop, which Collin said he used to lasso the gator. The police said the rope was caught around the alligator's upper jaw. Collin then tied the rope to a nearby handrail. When deputies arrived, Collin said he found the gator in its current state. However, following an investigation, video footage caught him in the act. The sheriff's office said Collin is not a licensed trapper and does not possess the proper licensing or permits to legally remove the alligator from the canal. He was arrested and faces 1 count of illegal killing, possessing, or capturing of alligators, a third-degree felony. Maybe I get that for like 45 of the other states here. I think if you're a Florida resident, you should have the right to, and I'm being halfway facetious here, just because, yes, it is dangerous, and then what are you going to do when you get that gator out? But it's like, man, he tried to remove a gator from an area. I don't know. That's tough.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, because it's probably the laws to protect the people from not knowing what they're doing, getting hurt. And you have, in order to get those permits and stuff, you have to show you know what you're doing.
But if you're a Floridian,
it's kind of
better know what you're doing.
If you're born and raised in Florida,
that's fair.
Then that should come with your birth certificate. But us that have moved from other states, I don't think we've earned that right.
Right, but I wouldn't even go around. If I see a gator in a pond, I'm probably going to be calling the proper authorities. So if you have the cojones to be doing this,
or the lack of brains,
or the lack of brain cells, then I would hope that you know what you're doing, getting yourself involved. But I guess at the end of the day, you could just go get that license too.
That's it. Just like you can to go get that kangaroo.
Yeah, very true. It's just so funny, the land of freedom with all the lacks of freedom. So,
well, you got to pay the government.
It's, stupidity is a freedom, right?
I guess. Yeah, that's probably the definition of freedom, right?
Yeah, right.
You're free to be stupid, and sometimes stupid has consequences.
I mean, have we checked social media lately? My goodness.
That's where it all is, no doubt about that. But speaking of social media, I don't know how that's a correlation, but excited to talk to Brad Law from the Auburn Sports Radio Network. Coming up next, you guys are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Go Braves! We got a winner. We have got a winner. 4 free tickets to Atlanta Braves baseball. Take your family. Who do we have? Good morning, sir.
This is Carl Thornton.
Hey, Carl, congratulations. Mo, what's the magic word?
Top on.
You got it. We got a winner.
I'm up here working on Tinder. I'm from Fort Walton.
What's your team, man? What's your college football team?
LSU Tigers. Right?
All right.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Tuesday afternoon. The rest of the day, sunshine and 95 with a moderate breeze at 16 miles per hour out of the west. For tonight, clear skies and a low near 82. Tomorrow, sunny and a high around 92. For Thursday, sunshine most of the day aside from a chance of thunderstorms in the evening and a high of 94. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
You owe the IRS back taxes, and dealing with the IRS stresses you out. Fortunately, IRS Problem Relief can help you resolve back taxes and represent you to the IRS so you don't have to face them alone. Last year, IRS Problem Relief saved clients drowning in tax debt, and IRS Problem Relief is a local company right here in Panama City, not some 800 number where you can never talk to the same person twice. Put those problems behind you so you can focus on moving forward. Call Edward Corey with IRS Problem Relief, 850-784-8176. For a free consultation, call Edward Corey with IRS Problem Relief. It's 850-784-8176 or visit irsproblemrelief.com.
The locals love him.
You're gonna love this. You are my favorite. It's my favorite.
Everybody's favorite. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We've got our good friend. He's the Director of Broadcast Operations for the Auburn Sports Radio Network, and we are getting ever so close to kickoff of the college football season, which we can't wait, as we are your home for the Auburn Tigers, much to David's chagrin here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Brad, fresh from your vacation over there in Gulf Shores, how you doing, my friend?
Hello. We are doing well. It's we had a great time. It's always a good time on the coast, as you guys are very well aware.
Yes, sir.
But we're great. We're ready to, we're back in the swing of things and counting down to the season now.
Absolutely. And speaking of that football season, recruiting has been on fire. I know they had Big Cat Weekend a couple weekends ago, and it just seems like Hugh Freeze, like we talked a few weeks ago, is kind of still pulling those strings and pulling in big-time recruits that, it seems more than usual.
Well, it is. In fact, it's unprecedented. We've not seen this at Auburn. 20 years ago, Tommy Tuberville could go into Huntsville and Birmingham and Montgomery and Mobile and Dothan and get guys in Columbus, Georgia, and we keep the hometown guys at home, but not even at this level. And especially in the 2008 recruiting class. I'll try not to make this too long of an answer.
No.
But especially in the 2008 class, Nick Saban's first full year on the job, first year to set the recruiting roots down and let them sprout and put all their other things in place that they did to get recruits. And that class, that 08 class, really turned things. And, Tubby Tuberville's next to last Auburn team beat Saban's first team. But in 2008, we went from winning 6 in a row to getting shut out in Tuscaloosa, and things were not the same from that point. What we're seeing now doesn't just resemble the 2008 class, but the 25 and 26 classes have a chance to go above and beyond for Auburn what those classes did for Alabama. Now, that's not to say that other schools aren't going to get their share of talented players. You can recruit nationally in college football now, and Alabama and Georgia and others are certainly doing that. But what we're seeing in the state of Alabama specifically, and for those who don't follow Auburn and haven't seen it and they're not aware, the 25 class right now, Auburn has 8 of the top 10 players in the state of Alabama in the class committed to the Tigers, and already a couple of the top players in 2026. The 2 in 25 that aren't committed to Auburn, things are starting to trend like they'll flip those 2 players. So you could see, and I don't know when this has ever happened, that a school got all 10 of the top players in a state. We've never seen anything close to it at Auburn, and unless things change, flips can always happen, but unless things change, we may very well see that in a few months on signing day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you've asked you this before, like what it is about Hugh Freeze, but now I'm thinking about, just specifically to Alabama, something that Auburn has certainly struggled with the last 15 years or so, maybe even more. Is it because Saban is not there anymore at Alabama, or is it because just Hugh Freeze and what he's been able to do and just the buzz and getting Auburn back in that? I mean, to use a word like unprecedented, just if you're an Auburn fan, just gets you fired up. Liam's behind the glass right now, and hearing you talk about the 8 out of the 10 players in Alabama, his eyes just went real big and got real excited. So what is it? Is it a combination of those things, or is it just, it's our time, it's the Hugh Freeze era, and it's a great time to be an Auburn Tiger?
Ryan, I think it's a combination of things, and I think that if you talk about 8 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, some of that is due to Nick Saban not being there. But I think that some of Nick Saban not being there, like, all right, why do I go to the dentist? Because I have cavities. Why do I have cavities? Because I eat too much sugar. Like, it's not, so therefore I'm at the dentist because I eat too much sugar.
Yeah.
I think that, the way that Auburn is dominating recruiting is partially because Nick Saban is not there. But I think a part of the reason Nick Saban is not there is he recognized what was about to happen at Auburn in the way that Tommy Tuberville recognized what happened at Alabama in 2008. Saban just did it a year earlier. He was sort of wise to it and didn't lose an Iron Bowl first. What I mean by that is, at Auburn, there's a system in place now. NIL has leveled the playing field in college football. It has. No longer do you worry, no longer does the team drop a bag on a guy's door the night before signing day, unbeknownst to anybody. Oh, no. And this was happening. There's no
doubt.
Now,
No doubt.
in the NIL era, this isn't like a JFK conspiracy or anything
the
like
reality,
that. We just didn't have Zapruder film on guys dropping bags, but we all know it was happening. Well, now the playing field's leveled, and the bags are just out there out in the open. So, all right, that's strike one. Strike two, and what I think is the most important thing for Auburn, forget the other schools, but you have Auburn, which has consistently branded itself around family. It's not Auburn Nation, it's Auburn family. And now you have a head coach who, as well as anybody in the game right now, knows about relationship building and life after football, and we're gonna treat you like a man when you're here, get you ready to be a man after you leave. And it's not about just building a brand for yourself. It's not just about building a nation of football warriors. And those two things together, Hugh Freeze's approach to recruiting, combined with what Auburn is anyway at its core, it's a pretty super combination. And combine that now with NIL opportunities that are there, and Auburn doesn't take a backseat to anybody in terms of the recruiting NIL war chest. and you got the makings of something very, very special. And I'll be honest, the fact that Auburn hasn't won a national title since 2010 or played for an SEC title since 2017, and they've had 3 years of subpar records in a row, doesn't hurt in the short term, because now you can go to a guy in state 5 stars and go, why not Auburn? Why not stay home? You could go 700 miles away. You could go to Columbus, Ohio, or USC or wherever else and do what's been done there, or you could stay less than 200 miles, away from home and do it here. Why not? Why wouldn't you do that?
And be part of something. I've always in sports, I don't know why, I've always gravitated to the, be part of a team that has a chance to do something special and not do the same thing over and over again. And I kind of feel a little bit about how when I became an Auburn fan because of my wife, that's kind of how it always was is, we were always kind of that team and, but you have the potential to make it. And it seems like the potential is more realized now than it's ever been. So it looks like a pretty exciting season coming up.
And kids are different. You have different priorities. Like we did 2 Meet the Teachers today. I have a 6th grader and a 2nd grader. One's a boy, one's a girl. They had totally different attitudes about going back to school. Those of you with 2 kids know that you can have 2 kids with completely different personalities. So a recruit A may have a totally different personality than recruit B. Family A may have a different set of priorities than family B. One guy may just want to go to a football factory and be there 3 years and go to the NFL, and who really gives a flip what happens after that? There are plenty of guys like that. There are plenty of guys who go play 3 years and do nothing with their platform. There are plenty of guys who go play 3 years, go to the NFL, and do good things with their platform. Auburn's not the only place, all right, that you can go and be successful. My point is that you've got a head coach and a culture that are a perfect fit. The culture at Alabama in 2007 was a head coach who demanded total control over everything. He couldn't have gone just anywhere and been as successful as he was. You have a fan base at Alabama who is willing to give up all control if it means winning at any cost. And that's what they got. It worked out for them. To a degree, Georgia had the same thing. They'd come close, but they didn't win it. They hadn't won it all since 1980. They're willing to give up that control and get in line behind Kirby Smart. And so they've had great success. Auburn is aligned right now behind John Cohen, the AD, Hugh Freeze, the head football coach, and you're seeing the results. I'm sure I came on the show a couple of years ago and talked about the alignment from the top down. And good things happen when you're aligned in your athletic department and your football program.
Absolutely. And that is a great kind of point to sum it all up is we went through many, many coaching situations where there was no alignment and, you kind of had to go through all that to finally get to where we are now, where there's some serious alignment and things. I was going to talk about some of your thoughts on some sleepers in the SEC, but I wanted to get some other sports in here real quick. What about our gymnast there, Suni Lee, getting 3 medals in the Olympic athletics, the artistic gymnastics team all around, and she ended up getting a bronze in the individual all around, and then of course getting a bronze medal in the uneven bars competition. Some awesome stuff there from Auburn. And she's still enrolled. She's got 1 more year, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, she does. She has a chance if she wants, if she chooses. In 4 years, she could become the most decorated athlete in Auburn athletics history from an Olympian medal standpoint. The health challenges that she had to overcome her last year at Auburn make her story one. I mean, she's going to be an Auburn darling forever and ever. Coverage of her or footage of her there in Paris being somebody yelled War Eagle at her, and she very excitedly looked back and waved. And she's just terrific. She's an inspiration to a lot of people. We interviewed her on stage before the Iron Bowl, I guess 2, maybe 4, I don't remember. These run together now. It was a home Iron Bowl, so maybe 21. And it was just stunning to have her on stage and know all that was on her shoulders athletically. But at the time, she was an incoming freshman. And so you go, this is still just an 18-year-old. Yep. This is an 18-year-old girl with all of this Olympic desire and drive and work ethic and everything on her shoulders. It was pretty special. You could tell she was different when you were in her company, and yet she was trying as hard as she could just to be a normal student when she was at Auburn.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's certainly a little different, not only just representing your university and the alumni and the fan base, but representing your country at the highest level is certainly no easy task. And I thought just her performance and the individual all around to, she got was it Tokyo? She get gold or silver in the individual all around in Tokyo? Yeah. I think it was.
She got gold.
Yeah, that's right. She did get gold because the Biles had the twist and all that stuff. But to come back and have the performance she did, to get that bronze medal and have two United States gymnasts on the podium and individual all around was pretty special for our country and also special for Auburn as well. So looking forward to her coming back next year and competing maybe for a national title there in women's gymnastics. All right, pivoting to another sport. I saw this come through and kind of opened my eyes up a little bit. But Bruce Pearl has put together the best non-league slate in the history of the Auburn Tigers basketball program. Their 2024 schedule, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, includes the Maui Invitational. That's 3 games. They're at Duke for the ACC-SEC Challenge. They play Ohio State in Atlanta. They play Purdue in Birmingham, and they play Houston in the Toyota Center. Bruce Pearl just trying to say, if we're going to be the best, we got to beat the best. I mean, I saw that come out, and I was like, man, he's shooting for the stars this season coming up.
Yeah, and by the way, that Maui Invitational field includes Colorado, Dayton, Iowa State, Memphis, Michigan State, North Carolina, and UConn.
Oof.
So,
two-time defending national champion.
Yeah, you're gonna have some premier matchups, as Auburn did 5 years ago when it went to the Final Four and started that season with a schedule that included the Maui Invitational. And that year, I think they played Xavier, Duke, and Arizona, and won 2 out of 3. And so we haven't seen the bracket yet, but yeah, 3 marquee matchups and some interesting neutral site games there for sure. I'll tell you, I'm a little old school. I'd love to be playing all of them in home and homes. I think Auburn going to the, Fertitta Center in Houston and then the Cougars coming to our place would be great instead of a pair of home and home games. I would love to go to the Mackey Arena and play Purdue and let them come to Neville Arena. But I understand the appeal of the neutral site matchup. You kind of saw a wave of that in football a decade or so back and still see some of it. But these are going to be great games that test you. And as we've seen now with the selection committee, playing these games really has no downside.
Yeah.
To play a neutral site game against Purdue or Ohio State, you benefit if you win it. You're really not hurt at all if you lose it. It does not negatively impact you in the least. So you just have opportunities for quality wins, and that's what you have for sure. And then, of course, the game at Duke, that's more of a statement about where the program is. Coach Pearl's been very vocal about the SEC, ACC, and the SEC Big 12 matchups and the opponents that Auburn has gotten as opposed to the opponents that, like, a Kentucky has gotten. And, well, now, all right then, big boy, let's go to Cameron Indoor and see what you got. They'll have the number 1 player in the nation in Cooper Flagg.
Yep.
And, all kinds of McDonald's. I mean, there's Big Macs all over the floor with those McDonald's All-Americans. And we'll see. It'll be a fun game for sure. Not a lot of fans can get in that building, but a bunch of Auburn fans will try, that's for sure.
Absolutely. You got to sleep out with the Cameron Crazies for several days to try to make that happen. But not too different from what happens over there at Neville Arena either when you got a big matchup coming in, that's for sure.
No, but that's the point. That's all our people at home. It'll be all their people there. We won't be able to get anybody in the building.
Definitely. But it's going to be a fun basketball season coming up. Obviously, a lot of exciting sports. We got about a minute left, Brad. I will ask you, maybe give me your thoughts on a sleeper in the SEC as far as the football is concerned. I know some of the toughest go is probably Florida with the schedule that they have, and they'll be lucky maybe to win 6 games. But what are some of the other sleepers that you may have on your radar?
I don't feel like people are talking enough about LSU. I haven't seen how they stack up in these preseason polls that are coming out, but everybody's high on Ole Miss, everybody's high on Alabama, Georgia. Those teams have returning quarterbacks, and LSU does not, and I understand that. People also have Tennessee in the mid-20s, and they have Texas A&M in the mid-20s, and Tennessee's going to have a redshirt freshman quarterback, and Texas A&M is going to have a guy who was injured half of last year, and they have a new head coach. So I think that with the offensive line recruiting and the defensive line recruiting that Brian Kelly has been able to pull off there in Baton Rouge, I think we're sleeping on them a little bit. They won the West in his first year. I would have to go back and see how many games they won a year ago, but I think they've got the talent up front. They have one of the top 4 offensive lines in the league. And if you have talent in the offensive and defensive lines, you're going to at least have a chance. So as for a sleeper, I would go LSU, if not Auburn.
There you go. LSU Tigers currently ranked 12th in the preseason poll. I like that, though. No one's really been talking about LSU. Ooh. Brad, we appreciate your... Go ahead.
I was going to say, I guarantee you they're getting less talk of anybody in the top 15.
Oh, I would certainly agree with that. No doubt. But, Brad, we appreciate your time as always. And I think the next time we talk, we might have a football game to play that Saturday. So I don't know if my math is right, but it could be close. But we appreciate you as always, and have a great rest of your week.
My pleasure. War Eagle to the Auburn fans on the coast.
There you go. War Eagle. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be back for our final segment on this Tuesday afternoon.
Are you ready to go under the lights? Mosley Dolphin football is back. ESPN Northwest Florida brings you live play-by-play coverage all season long. With David Hayes.
Touchdown, Mosley Dolphins.
And Kyle Wright.
And the interception turns into points for the Mosley offense.
As the Mosley Dolphins take on rivals Niceville, Rutherford, and the Bay Tornadoes. Exclusively on ESPN Northwest Florida.
I'm Sheriff Mike Atkinson. For the last 16 years, you've trusted my leadership at the Walton County Sheriff's Office. In that time, UCR crime rates have dropped 67%. That's no coincidence. You can count on me to serve with continued professionalism and provide the excellent hometown service you want. At our agency, excellence matters. As our law enforcement, fire rescue, and animal services are the first on scene. On Tuesday, August 20th, vote to re-elect Atkinson for Walton County Sheriff.
Paid for by Michael Atkinson Jr., Republican for Sheriff.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
1, 2.
I'm in love with a man named Rudy. I'm okay with that. He knows exactly what I want. He keeps me coming back. He cooks breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me. Does the dishes too. I'm in love with a man named Rudy. Last name Barbecue. It sure is easy to fall in love with Rudy's tasty oak smoked barbecue.
Next in line. He has one man to beat. He beat him. Jarquez Hunter. Touchdown Auburn.
Kickoff on the Plains is coming.
50-10. Fire to the end zone. Touchdown Peyton Thorne.
Auburn football returns August 31st.
The kick is on the way. The season is underway.
Only on your home for the Tigers.
Auburn fans, we're bringing you every single game this season on the exclusive home for the Auburn Tigers on the Gulf Coast. ESPN Northwest Florida, War Eagle.
From the beach to the bay to the backyard. It's the Inside Drive from the Bill Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studio.
I've got sand in my underpants.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Florida State fight song to bring us in? I figured you might play, I know you're a big Florida State guy too, and you know that fight song maybe a little bit more. You've been a lot more Florida State athletic competitions than you have Auburn, so did you find that one there in the hotkeys? That's good. We got an update on the United States semifinal match, quarterfinal match, right?
I can't wait till next summer.
No.
No update, or there is an update, but there's no score change. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, still 0-0.
No, yeah.
Gotta be
just stick with the Sounders.
Gotta be getting pretty close to the end of regular time there, I would think, right? Yeah, correct. So you said stick with the Sounders.
98th minute.
The 90th minute?
90. Or 89th minute.
89th minute. Ooh, man, getting close. Well, sounds like we're going to have some extra time coming up unless somebody can get a goal in stoppage time. Hopefully it's not the Germans, hopefully the United States. And the same thing they had to do against Japan. They took it to extra time and scored a goal in that second extra time period and ended up holding on to win to advance to play Germany. So I don't know if we're going to have an answer by the end of the show, but
5 additional minutes.
5 additional minutes of stoppage time. Appreciate you letting us know that.
I think I saw one Olympic soccer game where they had like 16 minutes of stoppage time. Was it Brazil, maybe?
It was because of a red card, I'm pretty sure.
I remember we're talking about that with that might have been talking about it with Ian. Yeah, there was one. It was just wild how much stoppage time they gave on that one. That's a lot. There's no doubt about it.
And then if you don't happen to score in that, then you've got to go to the extra time.
Subs become very important later in the games. That is for certain. That is for sure. Speaking of losing, I don't know if we were really talking about it or not, but the Chicago White Sox look like they extended their losing streak last night to 21 games. They are now tied with the 1988 Baltimore Orioles for the longest losing streak since 1901. Only 2 games behind the 1961 Philadelphia Phillies, who lost 23 straight games in a row. I'd almost say it's harder to win or harder to lose that many games in a row than it is to win that many games in a row.
I think in the game of baseball, you're absolutely right. Like, you could try to lose 23 games in a row and you're going to end up winning one.
Yeah.
Golly,
It's
man.
Tough look up there for the Chicago White Sox.
They got the A's for their week series, and then they have a 2-game series with the Cubbies, I believe, over the weekend. So you could, the A's have been playing better baseball than the White Sox, but then again, who hasn't?
True.
So, yeah. 5-1, I believe that game was last night to extend it to 21. It's like one of those things where now I'm not even waiting on the notification. I'm like going and checking the White Sox score like, dude, are y'all losing again? All you need is as Steve Barnes put it yesterday, a ground ball with eyes or something. You know, I mean, all of these things that can happen in the game of baseball to help you get a W, and the White Sox can't find none of those.
21 games.
It is
like
not
a month.
Yeah, it's like, all right, what are you playing for the number 1 draft pick over here? My goodness.
Jeez, man, that's tough stuff. But hey, maybe they'll break the record, and they'd have to lose 3 more to make that happen. Update on the France-Canada men's basketball quarterfinal matchup. Canada's gotten it pretty tight. It's 65-60 currently. I'm trying to find out how much time. They're in the 4th quarter with 4 minutes and 9 seconds left to go. Very low scoring game in that one. That would have been a good one probably to bet the under. And again, United States coming up here after that one against Brazil. That's going to kick off at 21-9, 2:30 our time. So right now you got Germany awaiting the winner of that France and Canada game, and then of course the winner of the Brazil-United States game will go on to face Serbia. We were talking about the AP poll briefly there with Brad Law, telling him where LSU was currently ranked, but the AP poll preseason came out yesterday. Doesn't really mean a whole lot. It's a preseason poll, but as we approach, you got the 12-team playoff this year, so certainly a lot more opportunity to get in there. But not surprising, Georgia coming in at number 1 with 46 first-place votes. Number 2, The Ohio State University. Number 3, coming up from the Pacific Northwest, and that quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, that is the Oregon Ducks. Texas Longhorns, they did get 1 first-place vote, coming in at number 4. The Alabama Crimson Tide coming in at number 5. The Ole Miss Rebels, number 6. Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who showed some interest to potentially joining the Big Ten, coming in at number 7. Michigan Wolverines coming in at number 8. Penn State Nittany Lions coming in at number 9. And then Florida State, the first team besides Notre Dame, outside of the Big Ten or SEC to reach the poll at number 10. That's FSU. Missouri, David Sleeper in the SEC coming in at number 11. 1 spot ahead.
Tough to call a team who's number 11 a sleeper, but yes, sir.
It's still Missouri.
Yeah,
so I
no,
think it's
absolutely.
fair. I think it's
Absolutely. I
fair.
have been calling them a sleeper,
Yeah,
though. I'm not correcting you. I'm just saying now that I see him at 11, it's like, I'm not really sleeping on him.
Yeah, maybe the other folk are out there seeing it. But in LSU 12, Utah coming in at 13, Clemson 14 with Cade Klubnik leading the helm up there. Tennessee at 15. I don't even know who he said a freshman quarterback. You know,
Nico Iamaleava.
Ooh, another fun name.
Yeah, don't quote me on the pronunciation.
It tough on us this year, that's for sure. Oklahoma 16 in their first season in the SEC. The Kansas State Wildcats number 17. Oklahoma State 18. The U at 19. Interesting there.
Cam Ward, man.
Yeah.
That's the reason why they're right there. And I wouldn't be surprised for Miami to have a run at the ACC this year. Especially, look, if you give me the option of Cam Ward or DJ Uiagalelei, I'm going Cam Ward. So we'll see. I think the overall team for Florida State is better than what Miami brings to the table. Who knows what we get out of Clemson with all of their returning players as well. But I think Miami might be a part of that race this year. We'll see about them in week 1 against the Gators.
Absolutely. Florida State lost a lot of players to the NFL draft this past season, but have had a great transfer portal as well. Texas A&M coming at 20, Arizona Wildcats 21, NC State with Grayson McCall at the helm coming in at 22.
You rooting for them this year?
Yeah, because he went to. Yeah, he's one of my favorite players at Coastal. Actually, probably my favorite player at Coastal all time. So yeah, definitely rooting for him to have a good season. Hopefully, it boosts that NFL draft stock for him.
And he came back to Coastal Carolina last year, gave him another year, and was like, "All right, now let me be selfish here with my final year." Not in a bad way.
Yeah,
selfish,
I'm completely.
But you just your opportunities at Coastal Carolina or any of the Group of 5 schools are really slim to none. You got to have an incredible year.
Yeah, definitely. USC, the Trojans coming in at 23, Kansas coming in at 24, and Iowa rounds out your top 25, coming in that 25th spot. Some other teams receiving votes: Washington, Louisville, Virginia Tech, SMU, Memphis, Boise State, Auburn, West Virginia, Wisconsin. Even Liberty slipped in there with some Group of 5 votes ahead of Iowa State, Kentucky, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, and then the list goes on from there. Getting ready, the 24th week 0 games. Florida State and Ireland.
Yes,
Florida
the whole
State
country
in
actually.
Ireland against Georgia Tech.
They're playing Gaelic football.
There you go. They're going to play, a little different. They're going to not put on pads, and they're going to play soccer.
Yeah, Georgia Tech, they've given Florida State some troubles in the past, but, if you're Florida State coming off of the, your last game that you played that Florida State fans and most of the players don't count, but it's a game nonetheless, you gotta start this season with an exclamation point. I would like to see that. I know the fans would like to see that. I know that the travel and all of the exploring that the players are going to be able to do could be a factor there. But with this being a conference game, you got to start off with a bang, and I expect them to do that. But Georgia Tech, under this new tenure of their head coach, has been a little bit more of a difficult team to deal with. So we'll see about that. Could we see shades of, I don't know when it was, maybe 2012, 2014, Georgia Tech gets the blocked field goal and runs it back during a tie game and ends up winning that football game? We shall see.
Time will tell. 2 weeks from this Saturday. Looking forward to it. Quick update on your Heisman future. Should you want to get a bet in before the season starts, I should have just done it from Hard Rock, but I've got the DraftKings Sportsbook odds up. Probably pretty similar to Hard Rock, but leading the way at plus 750 is Dylan Gabriel. Depending on which book you're using, Carson Beck could be in that same category, but we're just living off of DraftKings for this one. Dylan Gabriel at plus 750, Carson Beck at plus 800, then Quinn Ewers from Texas plus 1,000, Jalen Milroe 1,400, Jackson Dart 1,400, as you mentioned, Nico Iamaleava. That's a tough one. Levia. Looks like
his brother was in that flag football stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, he's plus 1,500 to win the Heisman. Will Howard is also plus 1,500. Cam Ward plus 2,200. Garrett Nussmeier and Riley Leonard. The Duke transferred up to Notre Dame, right? Yeah. He's plus 2,200 as well. So it is that time. If you want to get some early futures bets in before the season starts, now now is the time to jump in and get that going. Liam, any update on that score? I would be surprised if anybody did, in fact, score, but, I'm assuming not yet. Sounder. Yeah.
0-0. Yeah. Extra time, we go.
Man. Hopefully USA can make something happen. Maybe it'll go to PKs. Maybe we'll get home just in time to see those PKs. But yeah, don't forget, coming up later, you got the Hungary and the United States women's water polo quarterfinal. That's coming up actually very soon. That's going to be 2018. Yeah, that's 1:35 it looks like. So here in about 40 minutes, that'll get underway. And of course, a lot more. Currently, Greece and Australia are battling it out in the pool. Australia is up 8-5 in that one. So still a lot of United States action going on in these team competitions that have got down to the quarterfinals and beyond. So a lot of good Olympics still to watch out there. Any change in the medal counts, Liam? Or are we pretty much still locked in? I don't know if there's been any gold medal action going on, but Gold Zone, I tuned into that yesterday for a little bit.
Yeah, pretty good stuff, man. Scott Hansen's so good at that stuff.
And the whole thing about him not using that was for the no change in the gold medal stuff. Gotcha.
Scott, we love you.
We do love you, Scott. You do a great job. Liam, anything you want to leave the people with? Obviously, you start school tomorrow, so we appreciate you hanging out and running the board and making it happen so David could be in studio with us. And we appreciate you. And I know you're looking forward to, well, maybe not, but you're looking forward to your fourth grade year over there at University Academy.
Hey, keeping it real.
Hey.
Keeps it 100.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm sure there's some kids that are like, yeah, I'm excited to go to school. But are you excited to go to school to learn, or are you excited to go to school to see your friends? Who knows? Yes, the friends indeed.
We're going to add more if he decides to do this a little bit more next summer.
Yeah.
We're going to add more sounders so that his vocabulary can grow a little bit.
Yeah, we hadn't heard a lot of words come out of your mouth today, but you're certainly answering in All right. One more time real quick. Coming up tomorrow on the Afternoon Underdogs, it'll be your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to go see the Braves take on the Washington. That doesn't seem good and timely. But
wait, tomorrow, Inside Drive, right?
Yep, Inside Drive at 12:40. All you got to do is give us a call, 850-215-6290. Caller number 10. Liam, what is the phrase that pays? You have to say that one.
Chop on.
Chop on. There you
So
go.
excited.
All you got to do is remember that one. And if you're caller number 10, all you got to say is chop on. You get 4 tickets up there. We appreciate PCB Hobby, Fairfield Inn, Hampton Inn on Thomas Drive, and Home 2 Suites for sponsoring the week of winning here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Afternoon Underdogs coming up at 4 p.m. Hopefully we report tomorrow that Team USA got the dub and heads to the semifinals. We appreciate you tuning in. Y'all have a great rest of your Tuesday afternoon.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Afternoon Underdogs.
How far are we away from, like, instead of wars and stuff being fought with real soldiers, where we're actually, like, with avatars and stuff fighting, like, wars with robots or whatever, and instead of, like, it being a real person, it's a 10 or 12-year-old lighting you up, and it's, not an actual adult with, like, a M16 in his hands.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Tuesday afternoon. The rest of the day, sunshine and 95 with a moderate breeze at 16 miles per hour out of the west. For tonight, clear skies and a low near 82. Tomorrow, sunny and a high around 92. For Thursday, sunshine most of the day aside from a chance of thunderstorms in the evening and a high of 94. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Mike Atkinson. For the last 16 years, you've trusted my leadership at the Walton County Sheriff's Office. In that time, UCR crime rates have dropped 67%. That's no coincidence. You can count on me to serve with continued professionalism and provide the excellent hometown service you want. At our agency, excellence matters, as our law enforcement, fire rescue, and animal services are the first on scene. On Tuesday, August 20th, vote to re-elect Atkinson for Walton County Sheriff.
Paid for by Michael Atkinson Jr., Republican, for sheriff.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison. WVLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Is it disrespectful to Patrick Mahomes? But it should also be noted that since Tyreek Hill left Mahomes, Patrick leads the NFL in passing yards and passing touchdowns.
A new day in the herd starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You guys can laugh at me all you want.
This is The Herd.
Oh, yeah.
With Colin Cowherd.
I'm setting the tone.
Best show on radio.
This is The Herd.
Broadcasting live from Los Angeles. The Herd with Colin Cowherd starts now.
Here we go. J-Max back into Tuesday live in Los Angeles. It's The Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, thanks for making us part of your day. My favorite part of today, just laughing before the show started. So the NFL teams are now releasing depth charts. Sam Darnold starting for the Vikings, clearly the leader. Not J.J. McCarthy in the clubhouse. And then J-Mac pointed out to me.
Should we want to save it for the Herdline News, or you want to fire now?
It is kind of funny that Bo Nix, like J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota, they're in third. So the offensive coaches, Kevin O'Connell and Sean Payton, they bury their rookie quarterbacks. You got a lot to learn, kid. They bury him behind Jarrett Stidham and Sam Darnold. Just saying.
Kind of shocking. Where's Michael Penix in Atlanta? I don't know. Second, third.
He made some nice throws at practice.
Ooh, lovely.
So I was thinking about this. There is no quarterback in the NFL that's won a playoff game. Daniel Jones has won a playoff game. There is no quarterback in the NFL that gets ripped more, and there's no empathy or no sympathy. Even on HBO's Hard Knocks. I mean, it was like anti-Daniel Jones. The Giants, Mara, the GM would talk about him. Daniel Jones was watching it. He's got a playoff win. Now, did the Giants reach to draft him at number 6? Yes. Is he overpaid currently in the NFL? Well, it's $40 million a year, not 55, but yeah. So yesterday there was a big scuffle. Lions, Giants at practice. And I got to be honest with you, Daniel Jones jumped right into the middle of it and was right there pushing back with everybody, and the coaches are like trying to pull the quarterback out. But I don't know, maybe it's because, you know, he's getting paid more than he deserves. So what? So does the entire NFL. Maybe he went to Duke, easy to dislike, privileged school, or that he's a member of a team in New York. You know, we tend to think of New York teams as getting too much free press. But nobody gets bashed more than Daniel Jones, and he's won a playoff game. And so I grew up, when I watched the Olympics, and I've had a ball watching the Olympics, so much patriotism, optimism, you know, the real stories aren't the ones people are talking about on Twitter. The real stories are Simone Biles, Katie Ledecky, these amazing women, Ukrainian athletes, Canadian athletes. It's just been wonderful. But, you know, the grifters are going to go to the negative. So, and talk about something they didn't know existed a month ago. But be that as it may, I grew up with baseball, football, basketball. There were box scores. And in gymnastics, when I watch it sometimes, I'm like, it's all subjective. I can't figure out the scoring. It's all subjective. I mean, I know if somebody falls off, you know, one of the beams, it's bad news, but I can't tell. And that's one of the things that is kind of mystifying to me about the Olympics. You train all these years, you cross your fingers, you get the right judge. But I was thinking about how I grew up with box scores and facts. And